Hey guys. Hello everybody. Happy Mother's Day to all mothers. I wanted to try and do some special mother related stuff today. So I'm going to do that, and of course I want to do the goddess today, first and foremost, the spell of the day, and then on to chapter 7, the magical retreat. But I gotta lean way over here to get them because I was looking at them earlier. Okay, glasses. I was gonna put on some makeup, but I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm wearing my Harry Potter replica diadem from Ravenclaw. Ow. Maybe. Trying to wear it. Likes to fight me for some reason. Because this thing it's a heavy kind of crown. It's metal. So you've got to get it on here right and hopefully find a way to hold it into place. But it's really hard to do because it is really heavy. And this thing was under $20, so I thought that was pretty good. The goddess of today is Damara. That's Damara. Themes: fertility, health, luck, kindness, abundance. Symbols: flowers and green items. About Damara: throughout England, Damara is celebrated as being intimately connected with May and its abundant fertility for the fields, herds, and home. Though this productive energy, Damara brings well-being and improved fortune throughout the month. To do today: children in England believe that bringing in the May also conveys Damara's blessings. To try this, make small floral garlands or bouquets with ribbons and leave them anonymously on doorsteps, especially at the homes of people who have given much to the community or to you. By doing so, you return some of that person's positive energy and lay Damara's health and luck at their feet. This activity also opens the fishing season in England, where the garlands get cast into boats to bring a good harvest there as well. So leave a flower anywhere you need improved abundance: in your wallet, in the pantry, at the office for abundant energy, or close to your heart for abundant love. I could use some of all of the above. Finally, bring a bundle of fresh flowers into your living space today to attract Damara's healthy energy. Gardenias, roses, violets, geraniums, or tansies are all excellent choices, being metaphysically associated with vitality. So I might just do that in a little bit. When I'm done with my live stream, I might just go over to the Lowe's and see if I can get me a little, seedling that could use a good home and plant it outside, along with my gladiolus, which I still haven't shown, but I will here soon. Okay, May 12th, Bel. The festival of Beltane is dedicated to the god Bel. Now, see, I thought the god Bel was a goddess, in whose honor we light the Bel fires. Worship of Bel originated in Samaria, where he is identified with Enlil, son of Anu, the father of the gods. He is also seen as the Babylonian Marduk and the Phoenician Baal, Baal. Indeed, in Babylonia and Assyria, the term Bel means Lord and was attributed to all great gods. The Romans saw him as Belinus, who was linked to Apollo, both a sun god and a god of healing. In Europe, he is the Celtic god Beli, Beli, and also Balor, grandfather of Lu. Bel is a god of light and fire, of health and prosperity. Not only did the Bel fires purify, but they also invoked fertility. Hearth fires were extinguished at Beltane, and new ones rekindled from the great fires. Are being revived today for moments of great celebration. Lu, another fire and light god, gives his name to the Sabbath of Lughnasadh. As a descendant of Balor, his tale reminds us, get my tongue untangled, that as the old king dies, so a new one ascends to the crown. Balor, by the way, was credited with having a great poisoned eye. which took 3 men to lift its lid. This eye dealt death to any it looked upon, and is the origin of the expressions a baleful stare. Bel presides over much of the year, being in the ascendant from his festival at Beltane through to that at Lunasaw, but also making his appearance at the other Sabbats. So Bel is the god of the day that I thought was a goddess, and his name is the first part of my name of Lady Belpania. Bel and Pan are both male. Ea is female, so I need to research Ea and make sure that she's female, make sure I don't have 3 men, because there's got to be a woman in there somewhere, or there's no balance. Caption at the bottom says, look out for the good things, but guard against the bad. I agree with that. So that's those 2, and I got to be careful how I move my head around because this crown isn't in place as well as I would like it to be. And I pre-ordered my Brave the Tempest book today on Amazon, and it'll be loaded onto my Kindle Fire 7 on the 30th of July. Chapter 7, Building a Retreat. The universe is full of magical things, patiently waiting for our wits to grow sharper. It's getting close. If you've been working through the questions, a framework of ideas is now in place for your retreat, and you're ready to fill in the details. Since magic users of all stripes work with herbs, I've used herbal workings in creating these samples. If you know how to brew an infusion, you can use it for all sorts of magical applications. For example, you could drink it to alter your mental state, use it to anoint and consecrate tools, carry out a bit of alchemical spagyrics, spagyrics, sprinkle, asperge, a space for purification, or use the infusion for a healing purpose. Working with herbs is a magical skill that can be applied to a wide range of spiritual practices. About the retreat temple. Each sample retreat plan is set up using a retreat template. The left column highlights specific planning points, everything from Campbell's journey stages to mundane items like what food and materials to include. These points will help you consider each part of the retreat. Sorry, itch. And I'm going to go ahead and open the window because it's kind of stuffy in here. Consider each part of the retreat. You, of course, can decide which ones to use, and depending on your own goals, you might use all of them or might choose only a few. The right column provides space for you to capture your own notes and ideas, make lists, and so forth. A blank template is available in Appendix B at the back of this book, ready to be photocopied for your own use. Plan for a mini retreat. See, I have to adjust my crown because it's trying to fall off my head. This bare bones retreat is only an hour long and includes the brewing of a nice cup of magical tea and the reading of tea leaves. Short but sweet, this could be just the thing to allow one to unwind and enjoy some private time. And it also should whet the appetite for a longer getaway. Plan for a day-long retreat. Okay, I've shown it. I'm going to put it a little more snugly on my head so I don't have to worry about it falling off. Of course, it's going to start hurting my head, so I'm not going to be able to wear it long anyway. This retreat will fill the space of a work day, allowing time to work with a number of fresh and dried herbs, engage in study, go for a walk, have a simple meal, and begin work on a herbal formulary, a reference of one's herbal workings. The retreat includes magical components and ends with a simple ritual. Here's how that day-long plan might look for those who like super detailed outlines and planning. Now, I can show you it, but I don't know how clearly you're going to be able to see it, let alone copy it. But it's this one right here they're talking about, and here's another one over here. And here is that same day-long plan in a more skeletal, pared-down version. So I guess basically they're saying you can condense it down and, make it a smaller, more simplified version of it. Plan for an overnight retreat. Excuse me, sinuses, no allergy pills. Here's the same Herbology 101 plan yet again. only this time it's designed to fill an overnight and takes place in a different location. This will begin with the same content as the day-long retreat, but will expand to include use of additional herbal techniques, including perhaps the creation of creams and balms and essential oils. Plan for a long retreat. Here's the big kahuna. Our plan for an herbal-focused retreat now morphs into a long weekend that begins on Friday afternoon and extends through Monday evening. This includes the same content as the overnight retreat, but finds the retreater practicing additional techniques, doing more focused study, and taking a wildcrafting outing where she'll practice ethical plant gathering and learn to press, dry, and store herbs. This retreat will also include some loosely scheduled time aimed purely at relaxation. Look what's coming. In each of the focus chapters 10 through 21, I'll suggest a number of activities and magical ideas for each focus and will present several ready-to-use ideas and one complete retreat outline. You may use any of these as is, or you may dip in and out, selecting specific ideas as desired and using them to design your own retreat plan. But now it's time. Review your notes from the previous chapters and craft your retreat from beginning to end. You'll find one template on the pages that follow and additional blank templates in Appendix B at the back of this book. So here's the blank templates. And again, I don't know how well you're seeing them because that's as close as I can safely get it to the thing. So at this point, I would say just write your own. Okay, tasks for Chapter 7. Number 1, what do you think of the sample retreats in this chapter? How did they resonate with you? Number 2, which retreat example do you think suits you best? Why? How did you incorporate this into your plan? Number 3, now that you've begun to create a retreat plan, which part or parts of it are you happiest with? Which part or parts still need more work? Make a plan for continued work. And then there's the notes section. And then we go on to Chapter 8, which will be departure and initiation. And I won't give the captions or anything, just the title and whatnot. Okay, where's my bookmark? And I will have this book on the 30th, and it'll be on my Kindle so I can read it anytime. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this one off. See, I put some things on here to try and fasten it on better. And I'm going to put on my other one, which I'm not going to be able to wear much longer, much more than that one. This one has the combs, see, on the sides. But look at the way it looks here. It is so pretty. And, you got to set it just so. And by digging it down into, your head, because the combs, hold it in place, then that is my Sweet 16, my crown for the day, my Mother's Day headdress of spirituality, wisdom, and crowndom. I had a very good healing session last night before I went to bed. See this thing? Ow. It's difficult to adjust because it starts hurting the head really quick. But I wanted to wear them both because I haven't worn this one yet, and it's Mother's Day, so this is kind of my way of honoring myself and honoring other mothers. And I do have the window open behind me, so I'm going to go ahead and grab me some kind of a little jacket or shawl that I can put on that maybe will be a little warmer. So we'll go ahead and let this keep filming until I get back because it shouldn't take me that long. Darn it. I'm here. I'm just trying to get my jacket on, and I got my glasses in my mouth so nobody can understand a word I'm saying. This isn't going to be much in the way of, keeping me from getting too cool because it's all lace. So, but I'll tolerate it. But I wanted everyone to see this for a minute, but yet I just, like I said, this thing, it hurts too much to wear. And I'm too nervous to keep wearing the Harry Potter one because I don't want it to fall down and some part of it break. It was under $20, by the way. This one of Harry Potter, the replica, it was under $20. And it's just like the one in the movie, just like it. But this is one of those crowns that it really is tricky. It becomes very tricky to figure out exactly how it is supposed to be worn. Because, I've had people tell me that it's supposed to be worn like this, but how is it going to stay up? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so that's not the way. So I figure, okay, this is close enough. And then I just fasten it back here with and I'm messing up my hair in the process, with my little cord that I made for it. And I use the comb, trying to use the comb in my hair to somewhat hold it in place. But if I don't move around a whole lot, it should be okay. Sorry, my hair is a little, fried. Not fried, it just, I did brush it earlier, but it doesn't take long for it to get messed up, and it was getting kind of hot, so I ended up putting my hair up. And if I take down my clip right now, see, this is my hair. This, when it, if I take it down right now, though, it's then I won't have anything to hold the crown in place as much, and this one doesn't do that good of a job. But I wanted to try to do something special for Mother's Day, however short or long, and even if it's just, honoring all mothers, other mothers like myself, in a special way, that whether it's kind words, whether it's words of praise, thanks. I'm a mother myself, and I know how difficult it has been for my mother to raise us 3 kids, and my Phoenix don't want to cooperate here. Go figure, right? But anyway, this is the last day of my vacation at home. Chris will be home around 7. It's 10 to 2, so I know my friend Jay is going to be poloing me soon. And I'm trying to kind of be on the lookout for that. And I need to get something down on the floor here, because I don't want to spill it. Where did that go? Okay, goddess. I'll take a moment to be present. And see myself as the beautiful mother and kind mother that I am. I did my very best to raising my kids. And I was not raised the disciplinarian. I'm too gentle. And I must have known when I came into this world and I decided to come into this life and into this family that it was going to be a tough job, and it was going to be a taxing one, a difficult one, a draining one, a hurtful one, traumatizing, scarring, you name it. Family by no means is perfect, but when you're hurting each other to the degree that I have seen others hurt each other and that I have been hurt myself, don't mind me peeking out the window here, because I have to be mindful of the people around us, because it is Mother's Day, and I don't want somebody getting hurt, and I don't want to hear someone screaming outside my window, and it's like, what can I do? I can't go out there, with my sword ready to hack somebody in half or something, scare them off or whatever. But I'm trying to, I don't mean to long pause, that's my kitty cat in the window, but you can't see her barely because she's cleaning herself and the sun is shining on her and she's a bright color. So trying to think here. Do I want to talk about me being a mother and what it means to me to be a mother and what my mom, went through, the way her mother was, the way her mother and her mother's mother was raised? I mean, it wasn't good, okay? My ancestors had to do very degrading things to bring money into the family and feed the hungry, starving babies that were crying and, waiting for mommy to come home because she had food. And they had to raise their kids. And back in the 30s, I can't imagine how that was like. I wasn't born until 69. I became a mother in the 80s and 90s. 1990 was my firstborn, Michael. He's my oldest, and he's like 28 years old right now. And I've been meaning to do a videogram with him, so, and then send him 3 more stamps so that he can do one back, because it takes 3 stamps to do a videogram, and you only get 30 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and do that before I forget it. JPay, have to sign in on my phone. So it's going to take me a few minutes, and I don't consider it wasted live streaming because it's not like you're staring at a blank wall. Update app. So that's going to take a few minutes, I guess, or maybe sometimes it's instantaneous. Okay, it's instantaneous. Yay. Videogram. Michael. Okay, record now. And here we go. Let's see if I can bring my hair around. I don't think I can. I can try, but... Hello, Michael. Happy Mother's Day to me. Sorry, this, again, is all that I've been able to do. I'm kind of busy. I'm live streaming right now on YouTube. So I wanted to take the time to do this videogram and make sure I send you 3 stamps so you can send me one back. I'm wearing my Harry Potter replica diadem of Ravenclaw. It's Mother's Day. Chris is working at Marcon. Love you. Bye. Send. Send prepaid response. Yes. 33622. Okay. Usually takes it a minute. So I keep looking down to see when it's done, because I want to make sure that it does get sent. So bear with me. This thing is slow because he's all the way in Marion. So, long story. I don't know that this is the most appropriate time. 5:10. This is, let me see if this is a new one from him.
Hey Mom, I need you to do me a favor. There is a website out there that is called writeaprisoner.com. I need you to go online for me and check that website for my name and number and make sure I have a page up. And when you do that, can you please write me an email letting me know that it has been done and taken care of? I would have wrote you this, and I would have wrote you asking for this, but I don't have any stamps. I love you, and I will talk to you later.
Okay, so yeah, that was a current one. That was 5/10 of 2019, and this is the 12th. So yeah, that was the last prepaid that I sent him. So writeaprisoner.com. So I got to look this up and see if he's got a page up. And he said he don't have any stamps right now, which I kind of figured. I'm debating, because it's Mother's Day, I'm debating on whether or not it is appropriate to speak of things of such a personal nature regarding my son and why he's in Marion. And you're probably thinking, what do you mean? What's wrong if he's living in Marion? What's wrong with that? Well, sorry, too much stuff in my way. I'm trying to move some of it, and I'm trying to get my Peggy corn here, and I think I'm going to set her behind me because I think that's the kind of pillow I need. And I'm losing my crown in the process. She makes a good pillow. She's all soft and squishy, and it helps my back. So this might look awkward, but it'll help me sit up straighter and everything too. I've got too much stuff sitting here. I've got this energy kit that I need to watch the DVD and CD, listen to the CD on today. I've got one of my journal books here. This is my romance novel that I'm going to turn into an ebook. And this is my magic spell book. I got it on a clipboard because it's easier to write that way. So I've got like a crap ton of stuff on the couch here next to me, and as you can see, there's no cushion in the middle because it's very annoying. It gets in the way, and it just causes a bunch of problems. I think I've like commented about this, but again, it's more. I don't mind sharing it with others, especially other mothers that maybe are in the same kind of situation or similar. My son Michael got married very young. He was like the age of 20, I think, or something when he got married. And the girl that he married her because, one, I really truly believe he loved her. And she loved him, at least in the beginning. Excuse me, I'm burping up my lunch still. Probably ate it too fast. She was pregnant. She had gotten pregnant. They didn't take precautions. They were not ready to be parents. And they didn't exactly really have much to go on other than what Michael claims I was able to teach him as his mother. Because I've got 3 boys and 1 daughter. And all 3 of my boys are gone. They don't live with me. They live on their own. 2 of them live on their own. But Michael, the family that his wife, or ex-wife now, I think, or maybe they are still married, but they're separated, kind of, I don't know if that was even legally done. He's had 2 kids by her. My only grandchildren, a boy and a girl, Dylan and Kaylin. Kaylin was born first. Dylan was born second. Kaylin's birthday, I believe, is February 21st, and I believe Dylan's is the 26th, or vice versa. The last and only time I saw Dylan, he was 3 months old, and Michael and Kara were still together at the time, and they had come up to visit or something, or stay the weekend, I think, or something, I can't remember, because they were living in probably not Ashland, it might have been Ashland. They were living in some other city at first, and looking out the window, making sure there's no strangers pulling up, causing any trouble or grief with anybody. And I did want to show this just for an interesting little tidbit. This is a magic bottle that I did years ago, and it just has crystals and stones and herbs and stuff in it. That it is a blend that I am improving as I speak, and I had this bottle is so old, and the contents of it, that it's got the cork completely saturated, because look how dark it is. Because you can tell that's a wet cork, and you can see how glossy it is on the tip there, and it's like really, really dark. It probably looks black to a lot of you. But I have very few oils right now. Part of my herbology and my, witchy stuff that I'm trying to learn to do on my own. You make your own oils, and that is a very lengthy process, and it can be a pain in the butt and it can be annoying and agitating, because you have to have the right proportions of herbs, you have to have the right combinations of herbs. You have to let it steep in oil, and then you have to, it's really a complicated, complex thing. Well, Michael did the right thing. I am proud of him for being the man, and as society would say it, doing the right thing by marrying her before she gave birth. She was pregnant, so at least neither of his two kids were out of wedlock. All four of mine were. And that has not been the easiest thing for me to deal with, knowing that people think down on me and criticize and judge me and think I'm this horrible person because all four of my children have different fathers. And they couldn't be further from the truth, because I loved every one of those men. I loved them completely, wholly, every way that I could. I did not cheat on any of them. I am not the cheater type. I am faithful. I am loyal. I don't do that shit, because that's the kind of shit that gets people hurt. That's the kind of stuff that destroys families every day, because moms and dads just don't get along anymore. And they need to either separate or kill each other, because they just get so fed up with life or whatever their hang-ups are. I have them too. That they're just miserable and they don't love each other anymore. The love in the relationship is long gone, has been lost for millennia in their mind and opinion. I was going to wear makeup today, but I didn't want to take the time, because I didn't want this to sit too long before live streaming. Just before I hit the button that actually helps you to go live. But some of the blessings of yesterday, my daughter found her cat Widget, and she's okay, which I'm glad of that. Her cat was let out by somebody, and they were irresponsible and shouldn't have been. They should have been more careful about letting her out. And so it took Alicia about a week, roughly, I think, somewhere in that neighborhood. She put up flyers and stuff, pictures of Widget, saying, if you see this cat, please bring her to this address. This is my cat. She's lost. Please bring her home. So I started praying to Bast, and I said, please, 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 please help my daughter find her cat. Please help Widget find her way back to Alicia. Let her be safe and unharmed. And I kept thinking that and kept that in the back of my mind all day. And she called us last night and said she found her and she's okay. And I was like, thank you, Bass. I started crying, because our cats are very sacred and special to us. They are our familiars, which means they contain part of our spirit, but they're also our non-human children. They are our animal children. And they are every bit as much as a human child to me. Except they can feed themselves, they can drink their own water, they can use the bathroom. They're grown cats, they're not babies anymore. But some future things that I do on here, especially if I can catch some Cosmo video or something and learn proper application of makeup, because I am studying a beauty course right now, but I can't, with the little bit that I've studied, I can't honestly say, oh yeah, I know how to do it all. No, it don't work that way. I've only gotten the first exam of the second volume done, and I did that yesterday. I did light a candle to Bast and let it burn all night and burn itself out to thank her, and gave it as an offering. I was going to give her some catnip, but I couldn't find a small container to put it in, because if I just toss it on the altar, the cats would find it and destroy the altar to get at it. And I didn't want that. I didn't want stuff knocked off and broke, because I do have breakable items on my altar. So, but my cats, being cats, they climb on the altar anyway. If I happen to see them doing it, then I scold them and I make them get down, because I'm more worried about them knocking something over and breaking stuff, because they've knocked stuff over before and it didn't break, but they knocked it over. So that's the equivalent of, it was that close to being broken. I'm like, no, because this stuff I can't replace. It's gifts that have been given to me from others. But Michael and Kara, for a short time, were, back to the story, they were, why he's in Marion, they were both working. They both had jobs, and apparently they were making good money. But when the kids started coming along, of course, okay, then everything changes, and you gotta schedule your work so that one of you can always be home with the kids and one of you can be working. and then somehow in between all of that, try to find time for each other too and be some kind of a family. But because I come from a dysfunctional, broken home full of abuse and just horrible, horrible things that no kid should have to go through, and we've always struggled. We've never had money. We've never really had riches or anything like that. My mom's had some fine homes in her youth when her and my dad were first together and everything and in love, and he had her all to himself, and then everything was just suddenly right with the world. But the minute the kids started coming along and he found out that mom wasn't going to let him molest us and incestuously, have relations with us, she wasn't having it. And it pissed him off. My dad's been dead now for 28 years because my son Michael is 28 years old, and I was 8 months pregnant with him when my dad died, so I was not able to go to the funeral because I couldn't safely travel because it would have endangered me and the baby, and I wasn't about to do that. But, so they tried it for a while, and I guess they were doing okay enough, and they both loved the job, and of course because they were married, they couldn't let them work the same shifts or anything because that's too distracting. And, Michael did have this one friend, Kenny, that was really close to them, but we found out later that he had slept with Kara and she wanted it as bad as Kenny did. So there is a possibility that Dylan was not Michael's at all, that he belonged to Kenny. And I can imagine how painful that must have been for Michael to find out that his best friend could very well be the father of his only son. So far, I'm not saying that Michael, when he gets out, he won't be able to have a family and hopefully get married and find a nice woman that's worth his time, that he can have a happy life with. He's in Marion Correctional, and he's been there about, I figured it's been probably around the neighborhood of, I want to say maybe, he was, about 8 years, somewhere around there, and he was supposed to do 18, which if they made him do every day of that, he would not be released until Alicia was 30. Why he got put in Marion Correctional was because he, I think it was a case of shaken baby syndrome. And Michael had to quit his job, and opened up in the same job again, but Kara decided that she was more deserving of working than Michael, so she left him home with the kids, and Michael liked his games too much. He liked his video games, and they would take up an entire day for him. And like I said, he was not, at 20, he was not ready to be a father. She was not ready to be a mother. They were irresponsible. They should have used protection. And now I'm not saying that I don't love my grandkids and I don't want them in our lives. I'm glad they're here, but I don't like the circumstances that brought them into the world, because mom and dad were not ready to be parents, and they were not ready to be married at such a young age. But I commend Michael for doing the right thing and doing what he believed was proper, and that was marrying her before she had their first child, which I'm guessing she was pregnant with Kaylin when they got married. And oddly enough, they got married on, I think it was December 20th. I don't remember what year. I was there. It was in, I forget, at I want to say Ashland, but I don't know. It was far north of here. Wasn't Mansfield. It was, or it might have been Mansfield, but it wasn't Marion, is what I was trying to say. So there was a day when Dylan just would not stop crying, and Michael was getting irritated and agitated. He was in a pissy mood that day, and he was playing his video games, and Dylan's crying and bawling and screaming and throwing a fit. He's probably hungry or needed changed or something, who knows. And Michael just wanted to play his games, and his friend Kenny was there at the time. He's like, man, I'll take him. I'll take care of the baby. Michael's like, nah, man, I got it. But I think that he picked Dylan up and he shook him, and it caused blood on his brain. It fractured a collarbone and a couple of his ribs, and he was only 3 months old. So I think there was a subconscious lashing out and an anger and rage that he believed, as we all do, that Kenny was actually Dylan's father, not Michael. Now, Kaylin, when you look at her, you can tell she is from us. She looks like all of my kids did when they were growing up. She definitely looks, I see a picture of her as a kid and I see me. I see Michael, you know. So he is struggling. That's my cat, Kalika. He is struggling with, and he's adapted to his life there in Marion, and I don't get up there often to do a face-to-face visit with him because I am the person, I think I owe it to him and certainly to myself because it always takes me so long to get up there and physically see him that I want to go for an all-day visit from 8 to 3, which means I would get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I would get myself some breakfast. I would get myself some strong espresso coffee that would wake me up quickly and keep me awake. And I would do some Monster Energy and whatever I had to do to keep myself awake, keep myself going at that early in the morning because I'm not normally up that early. So I could get there by 8 because if I left by 6 or a little after, I should get there by 8 or a little after. But the goal will be to get there when they open, and the earliest that you can come in and start a visit is 8 o'clock in the morning, and you can stay until 3 p.m., and then everybody gets, time to go, visitation's over. And to me, that's an all-day visit. They won't allow us to take him off the premises to, take him out for a day or something to get him something to eat somewhere, and we're not allowed to have the visits outside of the facilities. He's trying to get out. I don't feel like I'm doing enough to help get him out. We're trying for an early release. Be on good behavior because he's like a model inmate. He don't get in any trouble. He keeps his nose clean, so to speak. He tries to get along with everybody. He has developed a hardness about him that, let's face it, it happens when you get put in there. You have to become hardened as a person before to survive it, And I'm just glad that my son seems to be keeping it together. But I know how much those face-to-face visits mean to him because I know how much they mean to us. I can't get Alicia to get on the ball and go. She's got a hectic work schedule. It's really hard for her to get any time off unless she wants time off. And here it is Mother's Day, and I probably won't so much as get a phone call from her saying, Happy Mother's Day, Mom, I love you. She's probably working. So Michael, he got himself put in jail. He did the right thing. He took full responsibility for the damage that he caused Dylan. That is irreversible. And Dylan is now going to be a special needs child for his entire life. And I know the remorse and the guilt that Michael feels for that because I feel it. And Kaylin is the only one that Kara has. She gave Dylan up. She didn't want the responsibility of owning a special needs child. And I think a lot of it too was guilt because I think that boy is Kenny's, not Michael's. Don't love Dylan any less. He is still a grandson to me. He's still my grandson because he still comes from Kara, and Kara was married to Michael at the time, so that does make them family in my book. But to set up a visit with Michael, a face-to-face, you have to get on the JPay website and you have to see what scheduled dates they have available. And I'm not going to try to go this month because the end of May is when I'm going to have my overnight retreat at Ravenwood Castle for the second time. And I know at some point, maybe I'm going to, either Chris will see this video and know, or I will finally feel like it's safe enough to tell him. He doesn't know that I spent the night at Ravenwood March 31st. He thinks that I spent the weekend or spent the night at Katie's place. And, he fell for it. I haven't had a chance to talk to Katie about it and say, Katie, you got to have my back. Now, some of you may think, oh, what were you doing that you didn't want him to know you were there? Was you cheating on him? No. Sorry to rain on your parade, but no. I was there alone. It was a beautiful experience. It was very sacred and spiritual and special to me. And I had the Huntsman's Hollow all myself. And the Huntsman's Hollow has 5 wooden cabins. And I was in the very first one. I was in cabin 401. Which, when you are in the parking lot and you're facing the cabins, it's the first one on the left over here. There's 3 right close, and then there's 1 here, and then there's 1 over there. 3 of the 5 are the cheapest cottages they have there. They are $139 a night. You can take up to 4 people. They don't charge by the person or anything. They charge by the day. If you want to eat in the pub, which is in the basement of the castle, you can do that, but you can't eat in the Great Hall unless you figure that into the cost of booking the room. You can get massages. You can get a massage, paid for and scheduled, so that when you get there, they would literally come to your cottage and do it personal. They would light candles for you and have a plate of cheese and crackers on the table when they knew you were coming to welcome your arrival. And that's probably the closest to royalty I have ever felt in my life. And it feels pretty damn good. Far as I know, I don't have any royal blood, but some DNA studies that one of my aunts did years ago claims that we do have royal blood. But the prince that I saw a picture of only once, and when I saw him, he was well in his 70s or 80s. You could tell by the way he looked. But if he was the correct one, he is literally royalty, and he is our relative. And I did not even know that he existed until my aunt did that DNA thing, and she sent the papers to us. And I'm related to Susan Sarandon, the actress. I am related to Katie Couric, the newscaster. Napoleon, of all people. And I mean, let's face it, you don't get any more evil than him. And before any of you say anything, because I know what this looks like, but I'm not an idiot, I'm not going to do something illegal. So this is not marijuana. This is an herbal mix, a pagan herbal mix of skullcap, damiana, and colt's foot. Mixed in the right proportions, it is a very legal, very natural concoction that you can smoke that is the equivalent of the type of high and buzz that you get from marijuana. So before I light that up, I wanted to make sure and point that out. I am not doing anything illegal. Don't ask me to prove to you that the herbs are what they say they are. They are, okay? I'm not stupid. This YouTube channel is too precious and special to me. Why would I do something to blow it? Okay? This is legal. So I don't want no cops at my door. I don't want no crap from anybody saying, oh, she's smoking pot. No, it is skullcap, damiana, and colt's foot. It is called the Pagan Mix. And I did not even know about it until my husband told me about it one day, and I went out and I bought the herbs, and I bought like about an ounce of each one, so I had a decent amount to mix the right proportions. Don't ask me the proportions, because I didn't really write them down. I just kind of guessed, and so far so good. You got to be careful with some of them, because they can, I can only smoke a little bit of this usually anyway, because it gives me a headache. And yes, you do have to hold it in as if you were smoking marijuana, or you don't get the effects. You don't get the high. You don't get the buzz. It is perfectly legal. These are over-the-counter herbs that you can get. At some point in the future, when I can either research it myself and get the exact proportions, I will put it on here in a future live stream, and I will give you the recipe, any of you that truly want it. And look at it this way. It's legal. It's natural. And as long as you can prove, look, this is the herbs. Here, take them. I just put them in my pipe. Take them take them to the, and analyze them and tell me that it isn't skullcap, Damiana, and coltsfoot. Hello. So, it's my sister Paulette. I haven't been able to talk with her today or visit or anything because, like I said, this is my last day as far as my ideal magical retreat, 3-day retreat that I have to do at home because I don't have the money to do it anywhere else right now. But this is a very relaxing blend. It's a very soothing blend. It may not be for everybody. So I can say is if you decide to try it, whenever I get the recipe on here, kudos to you. Just keep the herbs with you, obviously, in their baggies, proving that's what the herb is. Have them take some out of your pipe and analyze it, and take some out of each baggie and analyze it separate or together, however they decide to do it, and then they got all the proof they could possibly need, saying, yep, that's exactly what it is. It's Damiana, coltsfoot, and skullcap. It's completely legal. It's not pot. But is every bit as harsh, and maybe even a little harsher than some strains of pot that I have heard about, that people have had at parties, and they're like, oh man, this shit was so fly and so sick and so powerful and potent that they called it the Death Star, man. So you know that, okay, this is some serious butt-kicking stuff, But it helps me to rethink my life. I could do it without the hot ash. Can't use a screen with this pipe, it's too new. So basically this is the equivalent of tobacco. I use this to smoke my own version of tobacco, which is the 3 herbs that I have previously mentioned. But because of the potency of some of the herbs, you do have to be careful. You have to smoke in moderation, or it will give you, like I said, it gives me, I've spoken too much of it before, like when I had a really hectic day, and I got a real bad headache. And I was like, ow, it was kind of like the equivalent of having an alcoholic hangover from partying all night with your friends, And this is just pop. It's cherry vanilla. I don't drink alcohol. I try to avoid it. I am a social drinker, yes. I will drink at parties, yes. But you're lucky to see me down 1 drink, maybe at the most 3. And it's like alcohol just don't really, depending on the way it's mixed and the strength of it, it just don't affect me. I have, I think, a higher tolerance to it because of the German, Irish, and Dutch in my bloodline, to name a few of the bloodline that I have, ancestors that I have family in Ireland that own pubs that have the last name McGee. Good luck if you can find them and prove that I'm related to them. I mean, kudos to you. That'd be cool. I sure haven't been able to find them because, I mean, let's face it, Ireland is another country and you got to have a passport to go to another country, and I do not have a passport. So I cannot go anywhere that is out of the country unless I have a passport. This jacket isn't fitting me right. It keeps falling open because this is another reason why I want to lose this weight. It's health reasons. Excuse me. It's spiritual reasons. Self-esteem reasons. I have always had the fear of Shar being the evil bitch witch that she is, and she's as dark as they come. She has, I think, did some dark spell on me to make me gain the weight, because I remember this very spell that she has spoken of before when I lived in Marysville, and back then I was living right next to the bitch. She was not good people at all. She stole from me. She stole priceless porcelain dolls, one-of-a-kinds from the Paradise Gallery that were very expensive, and I'll never, they're gone. One of the dolls that she took was one that Adam had gotten me years ago at the flea market at Cedar Creek. Another was this beautiful bride doll that I absolutely loved. Me and my daughter Alicia both loved it to death, and my mom knew that we did, so she gave it to us both. And I just hung it on my wall for a while. And whenever she would come over and I would have her for a weekend visit, because she was a little girl back then, she would always, I had the doll, I had some wire fastened to the box very securely, and then I had Adam nail her on the wall and then hang her on it. And she was beautiful. She was like about this big. She had real pretty long blonde hair. I think it was braided and kind of came around to the front. Her veil was real super long and beautiful. Her gown was absolutely beautiful. And this doll was absolutely precious to me and Alicia. And see, sitting the way I am, I mean, I've got other clothes underneath, so it's just making me look heavier. Because, I was wearing this the other day, but it's a little chilly to be wearing a muscle shirt, sitting next to an open window, because it just gets so stuffy in here sometimes, Shout out to my peeps, Spooky Fam, Paranormal Files, Omar Gosh, Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, other paranormal investigators that I can't name that I've watched so many, Ewu Crew, Keeper of the Second, I love all you guys. I've subscribed to all your channels, so it's time for you to do me a solid and subscribe to mine. So forgive me for not exactly sitting here like a lady, but, these skirts are really long. I just basically wore one skirt over top of another, and they both have elastic, so you can actually wear them as a dress. And I've got a belt that I could probably wear with it, but the belt would just slide up and down all over the place and look like crap. So yeah, the green probably don't look so hot with it. That's why I keep trying to cover it up with the jacket. At least the red doesn't clash with the pink and the red and the yellow and the zebra colors that I have in the skirt that I'm wearing as the top part. Hopefully at some point in the future, if I can ever bring myself to just do it, I have some gold lame material in the bedroom in a box or in a bag, and I keep it covered up so my cats won't tear it up. That is big enough, I believe, to make me a single strap dress that I could wear as like a ritual dress. I could wear it to special occasions, special Wiccan celebrations, which, by the way, for those of you that don't know or understand Wicca much and you would like to learn more, the next holiday of the Wicca is going to be, this is May. Beltane was already May 1st. I always do April 30th, but some do it May 1st, May 2nd. We ended up doing it, I think, May 2nd. We did Beltane at the Spirit of Tefira with Yefra and her bunch, because it was Coven of the Winding Road, or Winding Road Coven. And I've only known them for a couple of months, and the guy that's the high priest, Brian Edwards, love him to death. Mwah. Shout out to all my peeps there. My friend Jay, he's my first subscriber, my only subscriber right now. I hope that there will be many more of you in the future. And even if you don't have the time, guys, I get it. I know how much it takes to video and to live stream and to edit and to, I know the hours that you put in and the travel that you do and the expenses, and just like you're running all the time. You're on the road. That becomes your life. But you love it passionately. It's what you love to do. And if I could do it and I had the money, guys, I'd be right there next to you. I would come up in my own car, and I wouldn't just spring up on you or creep up on you guys. I would call ahead of time, or I would leave some kind of message, comment and say, okay, I'm going to be at such and such. Can you guys please come and meet me? I would love to meet you if you're going to be there. Because it's looking like in order to run into them somewhere, like if I decide to go on a vacation, I'm going to have to do it somewhere in Austin, Texas, or wherever it is that Colin said he was raised, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, but they primarily live in like parts of Texas, and I think Austin is one of them. My friend Vicki Weber, she goes by Vicki Howard because she is married, and I am very happy for her. I have not met her husband, I don't think, yet, and I lost touch with Vicki for many years. And yes, I'm fidgeting with my pen because I must be feeling my husband's OCD. So let me put that down. And with this too, with the pagan mix, you don't have to smoke as much. It's like the peace pipe. When you're sitting down with a tribe of Indians and you bring them tobacco as a gift, as an offering, and they smoke it in the peace pipe. I would love a peace pipe from an Indian tribe. I would just cry. I would just be ecstatically happy Dances with Wolves, straight up favorite movie, love it to pieces. I hate that Two Socks got killed. I wanted to just boil them in oil when they did that. Two Socks, it made me cry. It makes me cry every time. I've never owned a wolf. I probably never will. But I did have, my friends Katie and Virginia had a 98% wolf named Shia. And she was a solitaire, and she was fidgety and, skittery because she didn't have a pack that she belonged to. And wolves don't generally, they don't do well on their own. There's very rare breeds that maybe there's only one of, but most of the time they form a pack. They live in a pack. And if they don't have that family sociality and bond, it's just like a human without a family. And they, decide to live out their days hermetically as a hermit, in other words, in the woods somewhere as far away from salvation as far away from people as possible. But actually, if you can pull it off, I would love to have a tree house. I've seen these movies where these people would literally, and it costs a lot of effing money to pull something like this off. Money that I don't have, that I would love to have, and I hope that I do get some donators on here and some subscribers, but I just don't know when that's going to happen. This is officially my 13th video. Yay, Witches Lucky 13. Good luck 13. We don't believe in the bad luck stuff. That's the dark ones. They believe that it's bad and it's nothing but bad, and that's simply not true. Magic is not black or white. It is both, because nature is both, loving and cruel. It gives and it takes away. If you're going to cast a spell on somebody, you better be doggone sure what you're doing, and you better be prepared to suffer the consequences and the backlashes from it, because you will. So try as hard as you possibly can, goddess willing, to not do the dark stuff. Don't do the negative, because it is so not worth it, guys. Let karma deal with them. Let karma dish it out, because then you're not going to get any backlash from it. You're going to be the victor because you survived it and you were the innocent, and the universe knows that. So you walked away. Good for you. But I'm not a bad person, and I'm just doing my own thing, and I'm not harming anybody. I'm not trying to cause problems or strife. I am a very powerful witch. I'm not trying to put on airs. I'm not trying to say, oh, if you get a spell from me, guaranteed it'll work instantly. I cannot promise that. But if I do at some point with my husband's help, or if I figure it out on my own, even better, I set up a website through YouTube, or a different channel maybe, that is more geared towards donations, and giving me donations so I can get the materials that I need to be able to pull this off. Now hang on, I lost my train of thought. Sometimes when you're plugged into the universe, it just so much comes in at once, you lose sight of what you were you lose your focal point. But I think it has something to do with magic or spells. I'm trying to find trigger words to help me go back to what I was thinking if I decide to do it. Do spells for others. That was it. Do spells for others. Those, yes, I am going to charge. I am going to ask money for, because it's going to take my time. It's going to take my materials. It's going to take my energy. The person that wants me to do the spell, they're going to have to be trusting of me, to have some basic information of them, their name, their birth date. If they don't want to give me their address, okay, but I don't know how I'm going to get them their stuff if I don't have their home address. I'm not a stalker. I'm not one of the crazies in the world. I'm not one of the sickos in the world. I'm not a danger to anybody, and I just ask the same in return, because I'm going to fasten this down. I don't think it's going to fasten down that way. Trying to see, I love this thing, but it is so freaking hard to wear. It's just too heavy and bulky. I don't see how they even wore. Well, nobody wore it in the movie, so. But anyway, oh well. I'm more worried about it falling off, breaking, because see, the jewels, especially hanging in the bottom there. These are all just cut glass. It's not. It was under $20, guys. So if you want to talk value, that's about the closest to any kind of value that it has. But it has sentimental value to me. It has fandom value. It has, it's my way of proving to the world I'm a Harry Potter fan and I'm their biggest fan and I don't have to prove it to nobody, you know. But I will do spells. If there are interested parties that would like me to do spells for them or would like me to teach them magic, please message me on here, leave a comment of one of my live streams or something, watch the video, tell me what you think. But try to be positive because, I don't claim that my videos are professional or anything because they're far from it. But I'm using a laptop, guys. I don't have an expensive camera that I can hook up to the internet and stuff, and I don't have phone apps, and I don't have REM pods and AMF meters or EMF meters. Spirit box. I don't have any of that stuff right now. I am trying to win this contest, and I hope that somehow I pull it off and get this one-of-a-kind large poster that Paranormal Files, all of them signs, like Colin, Peyton, I think Dodie and Bailey, Nick Dodie, Mom and Dad, Mama and Papa Spook, maybe Kay, Peyton's mom and dad. I don't know if they've never been shown on there, but Colin's mom and dad have, Mary and Jeff, and I love you guys. You're great. I love to see a family doing the stuff that you guys do together, just like the Ewu crew. So I'm going to have to make me a couple of purchases here, and as soon as Paranormal Files gets back with me to let me, help me get to their merch site so that I can actually purchase some stuff. And the end of May is going to be the soonest I'm going to have my money, and I know that their time is limited, and they're, it might take them longer than I want to wait to be able to get me an answer. So I might have to, I have no idea how long it might take. And I don't blame them. I'm not, saying I'm not trying to be negative or anything. I'm not saying that I deserve any special attention because I don't really feel that I do. I'm just a person just like them. And I'm here to share and to learn and grow with everyone and to share my own experiences. Me as a mother, I wish the circumstances would have been better that brought my children into my life. I wish that they would have only had one father. It would have been one marriage, one time, and I would have my own studio set up right now because I would have that kind of money. I would have that kind of income. My rich, prince/king that rides in on his big black horse and says, "Honey, I'm home," and, treats me like a queen and his goddess and the only love of his life other than maybe his children. And I try to do the exact same back to my partner. I try to love them as fully and completely as I can, and not just one particular way, not just in the bedroom. To me, it's sacred, it's special, it feels good, yes, but I'm asexual, so I don't need it. I don't have as strong of a need for it as my partner does. And I just wish that he was more understanding and patient, that I have so many issues that I have stuffed down so long inside of myself, and I have dug such a deep well of despair that I may never reach the bottom. I'm lucky if I can even get a fraction of that stuff done, over with, out of the way, forgive it, let it go, move on. I don't know. I don't know what, at this point, what else I can do as far as me and Chris, but don't want to get too personal either. But as a mother, yes, I have enjoyed raising my kids. I just wish the circumstances that brought them into the world would have been different. None of them were planned. All of them were accidental. And they were by different dads. And believe me, that it has not been the easiest thing to deal with for 50 years. Even though, it wasn't 50 because I didn't have Michael till 21. So take 21 away from 50 or whatever, and that's probably how long it's been. I'm not great at math. But it's been tough. I tried to be there for my kids. I tried to keep the four of them together as long as I could. But there were circumstances that took place that was just out of my control, and I didn't have anybody backing me. I didn't have anybody helping me. I didn't have any support. Adam was worthless. He's still worthless, and I hate to say that about the father of my child, my daughter, my only daughter, but it has cost her greatly as well, because she has clinical depression like my husband Chris. And so him and her are closer, and they can understand each other, and they can talk about things of that nature that I have trouble understanding, and acknowledging, and not feeling like, Chris is her favorite and I'm just, sloppy seconds. I know my daughter don't feel that way about me at all. I just heard my thing go off, so that's probably Jay poloing me, but that's going to be a little bit of a personal nature, so I will save it for later. I'm not going to be any rush to answer him, because I'm enjoying my Mother's Day, and, I never had, Adam, he was with me for 4 years, but I never really had a husband that was stable and tried to be any kind of a father to my kids. I dated a couple of guys that, didn't mind the kids. I've dated guys that were absolutely assholes and jerks about my kids, and they treated my kids like shit. My daughter was scared to death of one of them. And she had every right to be, because this guy was whack. Man, he was cray-cray to the max. And cray-cray meaning crazy, like, Fruit Loop in the cornflakes, look out. And it's sad. It truly is. Adam is adopted. Alicia's dad, she comes from, the Feinsteins are a Jewish family that they have a lot of money. Donald has a condo downtown Columbus, and he has riverfront property in the heart of downtown Columbus, and apparently, according to Chris, he has moved to a different building now. So the building that I was in for my daughter's graduation party, it was the 17th floor, and it was the one that the penthouse that Donald was living in at the time. That was the only time I saw the place. I praised it to high heaven. I praised Donald. I said the place is beautiful, blah, blah, blah. I was very nice and kind of, and he falsely acted like nice in return, but I think he was just doing it for Alicia, because there was an incident that happened many years ago that really caused a lot of strife between Adam and Donald. Not that there wasn't always strife, because there was. Donald is one of those that he would just as soon send his kid off to boarding school than to deal with him and raise him himself. And it hurts me terribly that they give the good Jews of the world a bad name. I have nothing against Jews. I am not racist. I'm not against any religious beliefs. I am open and embrace them all, because it truly is only one deity, guys, gals, everybody. It is one deity. It is one prime source that just has many faces, because there's many lessons to learn, and there's many paths to follow to complete those lessons. I have always been a very spiritual person by nature. I've always been drawn to the occult. I've always known that it was my calling to be a witch. I was born a natural witch, so I don't even have to use a book if I don't want. I don't have to. I can just do a spell on the fly, and it works just as well, if not better. I have to keep looking out the window and being careful, because I don't want somebody out there seeing this and going, oh, we got to call the cops on her because she's smoking pot. No, I'm not. I told you guys what the stuff is, and I shouldn't have to prove it to a cop. This is Mother's Day. Just leave me the hell alone. If you can't be nice, go away. I don't have time for this crap. It's like I'm just sitting here enjoying the day. My husband's working Marcon for the last day today. It's 2:45 Eastern Standard Time. He won't be probably out of that place until 7 tonight. or even later, possibly, because if he decides to stay for the after party and have at least a drink, because they do have alcohol. It's kind of their tear down celebration after everybody gets packed up and gets their hotel rooms and gets checked out, and you help load in their cars and shit so they can get to where they're going. Yeah, he deserves it. He's earned it for sure. He went through a lot this weekend, and he couldn't spend Mother's Day with me, which I don't know if it hurts him as much as it does me. I'm sure it does, but I don't know. I question, because, like I said, we're not the greatest as a couple. Nobody is, not truly. I mean, some of us, like Peyton and Colin, yeah, they're lucky and they seem to do well, and I'm happy for them. But others of us, like me and Chris, it's too many thorns in the rose bush, and I'm tired of getting pricked. He had baggage when he came into this relationship with me, and I had baggage as well. And that's where we screwed up, because that's where everything just went to hell and everything went downhill. And some of the live streams that I'm going to do on here is going to be about Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, because I really do love those books by Dr. Michael J. or John J. or something. I think he's a Mars. Yeah, you guys know the books I'm talking about. I've got a crap ton of them on my Amazon list. And I got some invigorating body wash coming from Avon that I've been wanting forever and ever, and it finally got down to $3.50, and I'm like, I'm getting it because they might not have it, when I have my money in a couple weeks. So I went ahead and got it. I had enough left on my card, and I got a Hecate devotional. So I can't wait to get that, because I had been promising myself, and I had been promising Mother Hecate for a long time now, that I'm going to work more with her. I'm going to devote myself more to her. And, I know that I am of Crohn, and I am advanced enough. I've not had a croning ceremony, but to me, I did my own. And I don't need a coven to crone me. I can do my own, and it's just as effective. Because like some famous witches have always said, who initiated the first witch? Okay, so it's okay to have guidelines, absolutely. It's okay to have a set amount of principles and laws that you maybe go by, and rules of the house. If you're going to be here, don't be doing negative magic against people. Don't be asking others to do negative magic for you. Don't cause a problem. Don't bring a bunch of trauma. And I hope that this live stream is recording okay and the video's okay, because I meant to plug in my speakers and forgot. So Goddess, please let the volume be okay on it, because I've had issues with volume in the past. And like one of the first videos of any type that I did before I even started live streaming on YouTube, it was like a 40 or more minute video, and the audio was not on it at all. It was not. I'm like, no! Because that one was a Wiccan one. That was a teaching one that I was trying to do to help some people understand, this is how this goes. I did a Beltane ritual as a live stream on Beltane, or what I acknowledge to be Beltane, which I celebrated on April 30th. But I guess a lot of witches, they prefer to celebrate it on May 1st. Or, like I said, we ended up having to do it May 2nd down at Spirit of Tefira, because that was the closest place everybody could gather effectively. We had to literally clear out the back room, because the front part of the building is her store. Is, Yaffa's store. And she is, I'm loading my pagan mix up here again. She is a good lady. She's trying to sell some of my pouches down there, but I haven't had the nerve to ask her if they're even selling, because the last time I was there, which was May 2nd, as I just mentioned, I saw some still hanging in the shop, but and they were mine because it's the only, they're one of a kind. There's nobody else that does these. I'm not saying that others won't come in there and possibly try to sell them that know how to knit or crochet. But supposedly if you can do one, you can do the other. But weirdly enough, my daughter knows how to knit, and she did pretty good. I don't know if she still does or if she stopped doing it. She probably doesn't have any time to do it anymore. And I crochet. I tried to teach her to crochet. She tried to teach me to knit, and we just couldn't get it right to save our lives. It was funny as heck. It was really, it's like, well, honey, you know, we tried. It's just, and I have looked at some knitting videos on here to try and learn it that way. But it's just too much concentration that is needed. I mean, you really got to pay attention. You really got to, you know, you got to try. You've got to pay attention to your patterns and, you know, make sure that you do them right. I can do the casting on, but the first row of stitches, I just cannot seem to get past that. I can't. I'll get it one of these times, you know, maybe. I mean, I do better by visual anyway, so I figure, okay, if I watch a video about it, then I should do okay. No, I could only cast on. I couldn't even do a first row of stitches. And I thought, oh, man, that's, you know, but I tried. So, you know, there's always room for improvement. There's always other chances to try. Oh, I hate the hot ash. Because, man, when you get this, that's like sucking hot coals down your throat. It burns like a mother flubber. Like I said, the harshness of this particular batch of the pagan mix, it's 3 key ingredients, 3 herbs that you combine, and you've got your pagan mix. You've got the equivalent of legal pot. So I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm not doing anything wrong. But yeah, I mean, you do have to be a little nervous, and you do tend to be, I become self-conscious about these things because I don't want some neighbor seeing me sitting up here smoking and thinking that it's something it's not. And then they decide to be an ass and call the fucking cops on me, and then I got a bunch of fucking problems and headaches I don't need to deal with. Let alone take up their time. It's not getting that dark yet, but I don't want to start, you know, getting too shadowed either, and it's going on 3, so I figure by probably 6 it might start getting dark, because I mean we are getting pretty much into the summer months now. Yeah, I keep meaning to lean my head back and rest it on Peggy Corn behind me, and she does make a nice, you know, pillow to help me sit up straighter and stuff. But the women in my family are big, you know, we're German, Irish, Dutch built. You know, so we are big boned, and I already know that probably my most ideal weight is going to be 150. And once I get myself there, it's going to be my lifelong goal to stay there, to keep myself motivated, to keep eating healthier and keep drinking healthier. Like, you know, having it first thing in the morning, instead of having a glass of pop, have some juice, or make me some caffeine, you know, make me some coffee. But I have to do decaffeinated coffee, because unless the coffee is a certain strength and a certain type of coffee, like if I try to drink Chris's coffee the way he makes it, his pot is one of those 12-cup deals, and the pot is like the that you put the grounds in is that deep, and he literally fills that to the top. And he goes through coffee so damn fast because he does that. And, you know, so I go with the decaffeinated, because caffeine, if I drink his stuff, it upsets my stomach. It irritates my ulcer, and that's not a fun thing. So I'm going to try to keep streaming until, you know, I don't know for how long. I mean, just an hour and 24 minutes and some odd seconds into it, but I'm going to do some meditations on here at some point in the future. I just don't know how soon, because I don't want to take on too many projects at once and then overwhelm myself and then burn out, because you can do it far too easily. But my friend Vicky, me and her talking again. We exchanged phone numbers last night. Yay! So this is for you, Vicky. Mwah. Love ya. Sorry it's been so long. Can't wait to see you, because she's in Carolina, so that would be a nice place to escape to. Go down and stay for a weekend or something. Just me. And then other times, if she has the room, because I don't know, like, if they got a big house or a little house and how many kids they have. And, I don't want to, like, impose where they don't really have room for us. But when I go to Ravenwood Castle, if I do decide to take somebody, I might mention it to Vicky just to see if she'd be interested. And hopefully this would give her enough notice that she can decide if she's got the finances to pull it off and do it, because I really would like to stay for 2 nights. But let me get my notes here. Let me hit my pagan thing here again. So I may not have a circle of friends to sit around and do this with, but it'll come in time, so I'm not worried about it. I think I put whoops, if I don't knock it all over the floor. Where did I put that? I wrote down on one of these pages of mine here recently. It had how much it costs to stay 1 night at Ravenwood Castle, how much 2 nights and 3 nights cost. I think is it this one? Yes. Okay. For those of you that may be interested, just for a quick reference for you, just tell them Janet Mabius or Janet Feinstein sent you. Maybe they'll give me some kind of discount on a future stay or something, and I'd appreciate it, Janet Feinstein sent us, and then I will call them and say, if anybody says Janet Feinstein sent you, then these are friends of mine, so I hope it's okay to call you friend. So make sure you're my friend, or you're okay with me saying you're my friend. I'm just trying to help you get, maybe some kind of special treatment, I don't know. But anyway, for 2 nights at Ravenwood Castle is, the grand total is, and remember, you can take up to 4 people, and this is one of the cabins. Some of the cottages up by the main castle building is, you can fit up to 8, believe it or not. So, those places are like, wow, I'd love to see one of them. $314.84. Now, you take $157.42 for 2 people. If, like, one of us paid $157.42 and the other one paid $157.42, that would come out to the $314, and that would be 2 nights. So, the 3 nights with taxes is $472.26. And in this case, each person, if 2 are paying, it would be $236.13 times 2. So $236.13 a piece. That's not bad. So the $157.42, and I will be able to pay for with my card. And then if my friend Jen, if I decide to take her, if she pays $157.42, then that would give us 2 nights. And she wants her own cabin. So I told her, okay, you can have your own cabin. I'm going to go ahead and take my hair down because it's cool enough out that I don't think I really need this and my hair up right now. Because, when you got, long, thick hair like I do, it can act as an insulator. Anyway, and, I can always, do stuff like this, pull up some of it and look all funky and weird, and it's like, well, I might as well put another one on this side. Or I could take it, and put it in the back and just kink, But anyway, so that's not bad. 3 nights is $472.26, and 2 nights is $314.84. So if at least 2 people was willing to pay the $157.42 a piece, then there's your 2 nights. If you add $157.42 times 2, it is $314.84. Now, the $157.42 is what it's going to be with taxes, because it's $139, and then it goes with taxes. It goes to $157.42. So these are the cabins. These are the 3 of them are 3 of the 5 are $139 a night. With the taxes, that becomes $157.42. For 3 nights, again, it's $236.13 times 2. So if two people could pay the $236.13 towards the booking, and what I'm probably going to have to do, and this is the only way I can think to do it, is I'm either going to have to get Jen over here and get on the phone with Ravenwood Castle, because they do have a number that you can call, and ask them, how do two people that want separate cabins pay for 2 nights stay? I can pay the $157.42 for one of the 2 nights. My friend can pay the $157.42 for one of the 2 nights, but we want to have 2 separate cabins. How does that work? We both want the $139 cabins, because the other 2, the 3 of the 5, so the 2 of the 5, the one that's sitting here, I think, and one that's over here by a little bridge you can walk over, and there's a little creek. It's beautiful. Look at the video. You'll see it. I think I panned around so the creek can be seen. If not, I'll do it when I go in the end of the end of May. So, before I go any further, though, and I hope I don't lose track again of what I'm saying, but I didn't tell Chris that I went on March 31st because I was afraid he wasn't going to be supportive about it. He wasn't going to be positive about it and encouraging. He was going to try to talk me out of it and tell me that that's too much money to spend for one night. Which, if it's one person and it's one night, or like I said, up to 4 and it's only one night, it's $157.42. But the 2 cabins are $149. Now, my curiosity is piqued. I don't know about you, but I'm like, okay, so why are 2 of the 5 $149? Why are they $10 more? What's the big deal? Is there more space? Is there actually maybe a tub? Because I'll tell you, the $139 cabins, there's no tub. Tiny ass bathroom, decent sized bedroom. The bed was phenomenal. Oh my God. It was like, I felt so like a queen when I slept in that bed, because I slept in the middle. Had the whole bed to myself. I almost had to have a step ladder to get up in it. It's that tall. Beautiful big ceiling fan. There's a microwave. There's a mini fridge. There's toilet paper, of course. There's toiletries. There's coffee filters, coffee pot, real dishes, real silverware. I mean, it's just phenomenal. There's a little trash can in there. There's a little flat screen that's about I think they're about yay big. It's a small one, but it's sitting up. You can do DVDs. When I go, because when I went at 401, when I went on March 31st, I tried to get the DVD player to work, and I couldn't get it to come on. So I don't know why that is. So I will point that out to them. Like, if I get cabin 401 again, I will point it out to them. Could you please help me figure out how to get this thing to work? Because I would like to bring some DVDs to watch. So my thought is this. We make the phone call and explain the situation to them. They will work with us. It's like, now I can give you my friend's, credit card information, and I can give you her name and address and everything if you need, because they're probably going to need to put her in their system. But here's the thing, folks. As much as I know it would be an absolute joy for not only her, but both of us to go and be able to share in this experience together, I'm afraid she's going to burn the place down. I have to be honest, because she is a non-functioning autistic. I love her dearly. She's my baby sister. She's 41 years old, and nobody wants to be her friend. She doesn't have any friends. Nobody gets her. Nobody understands her. They judge her. They criticize her. They cut her down, and she can't help the way she is. Part of it could be genetic. Part of it could be just the simple abuse that the girl has suffered growing up, because, yes, her mother is abusive. I have met her mother, and her mother seems nice enough. Seems like a really sweet lady, but I really can't exactly go back in time and see for myself what kind of mother Faith has been, because according to Jen, she's the worst mother. And from what I have observed personally, she's the greatest, sweetest lady you could ever know. I know Jen is anxious to come over here and drink. I know Jen is anxious to come over here and hang out. But it's Mother's Day, and I just want to be left alone. Just give me my vacation. We can celebrate Mother's Day tomorrow together if she wants. She's not a mother herself yet, but she does have a cat, so that kind of makes her a mother. If she was here right now and I was recording her, then you would be able to see what I mean by non-functioning autistic. She has trouble discerning reality from fantasy. She's a schizophrenic. She sometimes hallucinates things, so you don't do shit like this in front of her because it'll freak her out. And it's not funny, guys. It is not funny. It is a very serious condition, and it is not by no means fun or easy to live with. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It's very painful to watch, and the way you get judged by others is just horrible. Um, so I'm trying to set it up to where we can both go on the 28th because it'll still be a magical retreat because if we get 2 separate cabins, technically I will still be by myself because she'll be there, but she'll be in another cabin, so she won't be distracting me and bothering me in my cabin. My hope is, if I decided to take a chance and take her with me the end of May, if she would be willing to pay the $314.84, just use her card, let them put her information in their system, so that in future times, if this first visit the 2 of us make over there and stay for the 2 nights, if she does well and she behaves and she don't burn the place down or do something that it would get us kicked out. She is on medications. I'm sure she tries to manage her condition as much as anybody with that kind of condition can. But she's very childlike, and when she's over here and I'm drinking and partying with her, she's always asking me to help her to the bathroom because she doesn't believe that she can do it on her own. And especially she's lightweight, she's tiny little thing, so it takes her maybe 1-2 glasses and she's drunk. And especially when you start mixing stuff, because there's like 3 different types of alcohol that we've got here right now that she bought the other day. It was not anything I did. She bought it with her own money, and I'm like, okay. And she's like, will you fix some mixed drinks for me? I'm like, okay, but I'm warning you again, go easy on it. Just drink 1 glass. Try to give yourself time to see what level of buzz you're going to have. Don't overdo it, because the first time she overdid it, she was mixing vodka, beer, I think, and something else. I don't remember. And I have these little flavorings that you can put in regular water. So we would spray that in. We would squirt some in and stir it in, because then it gave it a sweet taste, because I don't like the bitterness of beer. It's like, bleh. Give me my wine coolers. Give me my sweet wines. I don't like the dry wines. Bleh. Feel like I'm drinking sand. But if you was to see her appearance as well, you would understand she's always wearing this filthy toboggan. She's always got her hair covered up. She never takes the damn thing off. I want to just take it off her head and burn it. She always wears a dirty shirt. She always wears dirty pants. Sometimes it's like the girl, I don't think she owns a single bra. And she doesn't even own underwear. She doesn't, very few even pairs of socks. She wears this same vest with this same shirt, and the shirt's always just dirty and just sloppy looking and horrible, and it's heartbreaking to see. It really is. And she doesn't seem to get what it truly means to be an adult. She's 41 years old, and she still thinks that she needs to get her mother's permission to go somewhere with me. I'm like, what are you, 12? Are we 12 or something, and we're going to the mall for the day? I mean, come on. You're 41 years old. Why do you need your mom's permission to go somewhere? Because even if she didn't ask her mom's permission and she decided to go somewhere with me, the most that Faith is going to do is she's going to call the cops. But it's going to be folly, because the person has to be missing for at least 24 hours. Because Faith, the first thing that she would probably think is, oh my God, someone's kidnapped my daughter. Yet it's perfectly okay for Faith to try and force this Tim, son of a bitch, on Jen that she's absolutely terrified of. And he is evil. Okay, guys, this is for real. He is evil. Okay, he has caused her to miscarry. He has gotten her pregnant. He has done some really, really horrible, horrendous things to this young lady, and I'm not going to just stand by and let it happen and not do anything about it when I have all this power and ability to help And this power and ability is not just for me, it's to help others and to hopefully steer them away from the dark paths when they're trying to go down them, because they don't realize they're going down a dark path. Don't be afraid of the darkness within you. Acknowledge it, embrace it, accept it. But it does not mean necessarily that suddenly you're evil. You have to have the balance of the two. And that is not easy. So, as harsh as it may seem for me to say this, I'm a little embarrassed and ashamed to take Jen because of her appearance and because of her smell. Because she stinks. She's body odor. She don't wear socks half of the time. She always wears these big sloppy pants that look like shit on her. These pullover t-shirts that just they're all stained on the front and they're just fucking filthy dirty, like she just wears the same damn top all the time. And that's not healthy. It's not healthy. It's not hygienic. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying, to say that, okay, I'm being two-faced because one minute I'm her friend, the next minute, I'm only her friend to her face or whatever. I am speaking the truth. I am not trying to be mean. I am not trying to hurt her. I am trying to help her, love her, accept her, and be a friend, because I'm literally the only one she has. She don't know how to have relationships with others. She lost her boyfriend here recently. She was going to marry this guy. She was going to have kids by him. But she's 41 years old. So she's probably too old to have any kids. Her stomach is the size of a softball. She has bulimia. I'm always hearing her out back throwing up and stuff, dry heaving and everything, because she claims that her mother's always buying the kinds of foods that she can't eat, that she's allergic to, and then she forces her to eat the stuff, and then Jen just turns around and goes outside and throws it right back up. And she wants to be a witch. She wants to be Wiccan. But I'm going to have to tread lightly with this, because I don't want to teach her something she can't handle. She could be potentially very dangerous, especially if she really starts getting it and goes, oh, now I can fuck with some people. No, bad idea. Don't do it, because there's going to be backlash. You might get your revenge on that person, but you're going to suffer it too. You're going to pay for it too. Do you want something 3 times worse happening to you? I don't. If it was me, I'd be like, no, I'm out of here. Bye. Sorry. Nope, not interested. Excuse me. So, I don't want to get too boring or anything either. I try to give good content to my videos, to my live streams, and I'm hoping that my friend Vicky will subscribe and watch my videos, and hopefully her and I will be able to talk sometime next week. I hope she has a good Mother's Day. I'm certainly having a good Mother's Day because I'm doing what I love. I'm doing live streaming, and I'm doing it from the safety of my home. I'm not out traveling to these, haunted places or anything yet, but it is in the works. If I can ever figure out how to use my tablet with Chris's help to live stream on it, and that would be the equivalent of live streaming on the laptop that I'm live streaming on. And the tablet's a lot more portable, because it's smaller. I mean, you can fit it in your backpack. This is just a Kindle Fire 7. And, I only paid a little over, I think it was 50 something for it, and I got it on Amazon. So Amazon is definitely, I love the versatility of it. I hope to, at some point in the future, have some products there, some incense oils and brews of my own making. So kind of one of my first occult stores, I may have to do it online, but I still got to get the PayPal account set up. And that way, thank you again, Paranormal Files, for pointing out that it's better to have a PayPal account and give people the option of, you get all the money that way. You get every bit of the money. If you send them $20, they get the whole $20. If you send them $50, they get the whole $50. if you go through YouTube, they take, I think Colin said it was, I don't know, 40%, 60%, something. And I'm not saying that's unfair or anything like that at all. I have no problem myself paying $11.89 a month to have unlimited live streaming, because I'm investing in myself. I'm investing in my craft. I am trying to explore different ways to teach where, I don't have like the facilities of a school right now that I can take people to and, sit down in an actual classroom and, have a desk and a chair. No, it's not the reality anymore of the earth. So I don't mean to be mean as far as Jen. Everybody is absolutely 100% convinced that I am bipolar and I'm manic. I'm neither. And I shouldn't have to prove myself to anyone. But my husband would probably be one of the few that would argue with me about it and say, no, you are. Because he claims, and this is his exact words, there's two yous. And I'm like, excuse me, run that by me again. What do you mean there's two me's? The manic you and the normal you. And I'm like, okay, so why do you suddenly think that I am manic? Well, because I feel to the extreme. I think to the extreme. That does not make me manic. I don't like people placing labels on me that are not appropriate. Okay, I wouldn't do it to anybody. I don't want no one doing it to me. No falsehoods, no falsifiers, no liars, no deceivers. That's not my game. That's not my bag. That's not my thing. I look at myself as like a modern day Janis Joplin, and I do that in the most reverence and honorable way when I say that. She is a soul sister, and I wish I would have had the privilege and honor of knowing her when she lived. I wish we could have lived at the same time, because I guarantee you we would have been best friends and maybe even dated, because, I am open to that, but I wouldn't do it as an open relationship or a poly. I don't believe in multiple partners. I don't believe in having a first and a second and a third and a fourth and whatever. To me, those type of people are just oversexed, and they just, like, if one of them's not in the mood, then they just go to the other one, and then if one of them's not in the, they go to the other one. I don't believe in it. I don't like it. I disapprove of it, but I have no right. I'm not God. I can't go around and say, you can't do that because I don't like it. It's called free will, freedom of choice, freedom of religion. Yeah, some of my friends are into S&M. They're into bondage and, I'm just not that way. That's not me. I wish I could find a successful way to wear this thing, but I can't. It just hurts too much. And because it's Mother's Day, it's my way of honoring all mothers. It's my way of honoring the goddess, our Owl Mother. But because the combs dig in so strongly, it's hurtful. And I have not been able to come up with a way to pad it, to give it like wear a headband or something, and, have it on here as little as possible. And, the main thing is trying to keep my head straight, try not to move around a whole lot, because it probably wouldn't take much to dislodge it. My views on let's go with, because I'm trying to cover multiple topics here. Dark magic. My views on dark magic is do it moderately, do it within reason, do it sensibly, responsibly. Make sure you are willing to suffer the consequences of your actions. Try to think of another way to solve the issue or the problem that you have with whoever, Jim Bob down the street or Mary Lou at the high school. That's another thing about these herbs. They do tend to give you a phlegmy, blah. So another reason to smoke it in moderation, like hit it a couple times and then just not, just put it down for a while. And these herbs aren't very much either. That's another thing I like about it. They're not very much. They're only like a couple bucks at each one, and they're decent size. I mean, the package is like every bit that full, so that's plenty for me. So I got Hecate devotional coming. I got my animal deck coming that I've been wanting to replace ever since I lost it, and I got it for like $6.70 today. No kidding. And this is usually a $30 deck, guys. $30 deck. Every bit worth it. It's called Animal Medicine. It's got a bear head on the front, and it's got a Native American, what do they call those things? Dream catcher on the front. On the back of the cards, I think there's a dream catcher. And I don't think it comes with its own like layout cloth or anything, but that's what the little generic ones are for, like the ones that I'm using to wrap my angel deck in, the ones that I use to wrap my dark tarot in, which at some point in the future, when I have maybe actually I can use my camera, for instance, to do this or something, and I can zoom in enough and get a good enough shot of it, I will definitely do some readings on here. I did one earlier on my Canon, but until I learn with Chris's help how to transfer the Canon videos into the YouTube so that it'll be on my playlist so people can watch and enjoy them. I did a dark tarot layout, a 15 card Celtic cross spread, which means, generally it's a 10 card spread. But when you do the 15 card spread, it is working with the 4 elements: earth, air, fire, water, spiritual transformation. So 5 elements in a way. But earth, air, fire, water. Each element will come up as a different card, and it will have a specific message. And if you follow what each one says in that order, earth, air, fire, water, that will help you achieve spiritual transformation. And believe it or not, the card that came up in my spiritual transformation was the Hermit card, which is my card in the deck. There's like, trying to tell me something? But yay, it's good. Haha, yay for me. But now that I have the 2 that I do, I will try to get me some more. And I do have some lovely little colorful crocheted ones that I could always use to wrap a deck in. A future deck that I may have. But I do like the fancy ones that I have that are, got the nice pattern and stuff. Like I've got one that's a triple goddess that's purple and black. And I'm using that to wrap my dark tarot deck in. And I got my my dark tarot in my, what I call my little naughty bag here. But it's just a chick in a sexy outfit, with a skeleton. It's like Day of the Dead kind of stuff. Like over here you see them both as skeletons. On the front, she's human, he's the skeleton. And then the other side, she's human, he's the skeleton. It's not like she's sitting there naked or anything. So, and in the top, you can't see the top of it. It's hard to show it. She is on a motorcycle, and it's just sexy, but it's well done. It's respectfully done, I should say. Yeah, I suppose I can unwrap my deck for a minute and show you what the deck looks like, because I don't have to take it out of the box to show you what it looks like. Got it from Half Price Books. It was only like $4.98, and I love that the deck is small too, because you can carry it in your purse. And this is my dark tarot deck. It's called Royo. Yeah, Royo. And the chick on the front, that's the Fool card. And so it's tastefully done. It's gothic. It's very witchy. And there is some nudity in some of the cards. I will warn you ahead of time. And this is the little miniature, make sure you can see both sides of it. Okay, this is the side that you're supposed to use. This is the back side. This is the front. But see, it's just purple, black, triple goddess, nice and small. You can wrap your cards in it and keep them in. It helps keep them charged, because the energy of the wrap, the thing that you use to lay the cards out on, it keeps them charged by keeping them magically with a magic symbol like that. At least that's my belief. Now, over on the table, which you can't see because it's not facing the right direction of the camera, it's over there. So this is the stuff behind me. It's the stuff in front of me. It's my angel deck. that a friend got me, that sadly I found out after 4 years of thinking this person was my friend, he never was. Long, sad story I won't go into because I'm trying to keep things positive and uplifting. And if I don't show that particular little thing today, I will try to show it in the next live stream that I do. Right now, it's like 25 after 3. I'm trying to do kind of a long one, to make it more special. Certainly, it took me 50 years to get here. It took me 50 years, not 50, I keep thinking 50, but the year of my 13th birthday, when I almost burnt my room down. I don't remember if I ever put that on a live stream or not. I think I did. I think I might have. But anyway, it was an accident. It was a complete accident. It was my irresponsibility, and I definitely I do fire safety now. So that don't ever happen again, and it's a doggone shame because of the fact that I lost a nice little tea table because it was plastic. It was 2 tea tables that stacked perfectly on top of each other. There was a white one and a yellow one. The white one was on top, the yellow was on the bottom. I had a big orange taper candle in the middle of it for Halloween, and it was the Halloween of my 13th year, so Samhain, Samhain, All Hallows, whatever, a very witchy time of the year when it's one of the few of the major holidays that is where you can contact ancestors. Ancestors can come through from the other side, from the veil between the worlds is thinnest, meaning the spirit world, where is, we go in death. And I really don't want to, let's see, I'm trying to find something to, let me close this down a little bit. Actually, I think I'll close it down to there because I'm trying to find somewhere to set some of my books up, because right now my cats aren't in the window, so it won't interfere with them looking out the window. They can still look over there, just only one at a time. But I'm getting poked by sharp corners and stuff because my couch is collapsing on me, and I can't afford to get another one right now. So that's kind of ruined your day when you feel like your couch is swallowing you up, and it becomes increasingly uncomfortable to sit on. And it's not like I can suddenly start sitting on the middle cushion. It ain't going to make much difference. It's done for. The springs are collapsing. I have weighed down this end of it. Chris has weighed down the other end of it. Hardly anybody has sat in the middle of it. So it's collapsing. And we can't afford to get another one. And yeah, part of why I put those books up is so people don't see me doing this, because I don't need the crap, people. I am a witch. I have the knowledge and the wisdom and the ability to share these type of concoctions with people so that until they finally get off their asses and stop being asses and let marijuana be legalized in all the states, I'm not going to be smoking it. I try to find a safe equivalent of it. This pagan mix is that equivalent. But it's a glass pipe, and I have to be careful because it did break on me once already. I fixed it, but now there's jagged glass sticking out. So dark magic, it has its purpose, to get back to that topic. That's one thing that you got to get used to with me, peeps, because I do bounce around a lot because it's not my fault. I don't mean to be that way. It's just sometimes when the floodgates open, and believe me, they're always open. I mean, I don't know how I sleep at night, to be honest, because the energy it just never wants to stop. It just wants to keep going. Ow! I cannot. Whew. Gosh darn it, I love my tiaras, but I can't wear them. And my nose won't quit itching. I know it's the allergens in here because this place needs a serious steam cleaning. It needs fumigation probably, and probably do me some good to white some light sage. Rephrase that let's try that again. To light some white sage which I've been meaning to find it, my charcoal things that you use to burn loose incense, which the sage that I'm about to smolder here is the equivalent of loose incense. And I really have a hard time getting it to stay lit and getting it to smolder good, because I'm doing it in my little abalone shell that came with, you know, the white sage that I purchased. So see, that actually is white sage, nothing more. But you got to be careful, of course, when you light it, because you don't want to burn yourself. You don't want the fucking lighter blowing up in your hand. It's okay to let it flame a little bit. And if you can let it go out on its own, all the better. Let it burn as long as it will. God and Goddess, powers that be, please hear my plea. Do now what I ask of thee. Take this sage of purified white to cleanse this place from the dark of the night and the dark powers and the dark energies that sometimes we may have to deal with. Where can I put this? I think I will put it in my Scully ashtray here. It might smolder for a little bit, but I don't know for how long, because that's the drawback of using the loose incense, or the loose sage even, is keeping it going, keeping it lit enough. And I need to look through my magic items over there on the altar or under it, because a lot of them I'll keep underneath it. I wish you guys could see my altar, but I would have to pick up my laptop and carry it over there, and it would just be such a pain in the butt. I will get some video footage of it. The Beltane Ritual. The Beltane Ritual. Watch it. It's labeled Beltane Ritual 2019. That has a picture of my altar, but it's just like I didn't really like go down like an aerial view of it. I mean, I could probably hold the camera that way and kind of slowly go over it. So I don't know how well I was able to show it to anybody, but you know, go check it out, and then you'll see my altar, and you'll be able to see a different angle in my front room, because that's where I'm at, is in my front room, because this is the north, south, east, west, and before I do anything else, I need to do my LBRP, because it's a protection thing. So I'm going to do it sitting down, and I'm just going to do it for the 4 directions. And this is something else that I can do just on the fly. It just comes to me, and I just zip, 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 and it's done. Okay, usually I do it standing up, because you have to do the sign of the pentagram. Banishing pentagram. It's called LBRP, Lesser Banishing Ritual of the Pentagram. They leave the O out, so they just call it LBRP. And you start from the bottom. So it goes bottom, up, down, cross, 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 circle. I got to do this side first. Yod, hey, va, hey. And Adonai. Got that one mixed up. Okay. I close my eyes, I can visualize it better. Yeah. And then behind me, Agla. For around me flames the pentagram and the Kabbalistic cross, and within me and its center shines the 6-rayed star. That is a banishment. It is a protection. It is a daily circle that I have been instructed by my magic teachers. Yes, I still have magic teachers. And I have this daily thing I do. Earth evocation. It was on the chapter 6 video as well. So bear with me, because I'm probably going to start putting it on here every single time, because it helps me to stay on target of doing it every day. Here and now, I evoke the elemental force of earth, meaning inside. You evoke the earth within you. You evoke the power within you. When you invoke, it's outside of you. When you evoke, it comes from the inside. Here and now, I evoke the elemental force of earth, the soul of fertility and growth, fecund source of stability, stillness, and health. I seek the deep cavern within, patiently build strength, mystery, sanctuary, and abundance. I call you forth to filter away all that is impure and to stand rooted in this world. Mountain and dust, footstep and stone, earth, I call thee hence, blessed be. And I have a schedule. I check mark it off every day. I have the date. I put the LBRP over here, so I know when I do the evocation, I do the LBRP. I check mark to prove to my magic teachers I'm doing it every day like I'm supposed to. They are a very good batch of people. The few times that I have been able to work with them doing more Wiccan related, open to other witches, or it doesn't even, you don't have to necessarily be Wiccan, okay? As long as you're a witch and you have your own source of belief. We've had mixed batches, and you want to talk about doing some kick-ass magic. I mean, come on, guys. Seriously? You can't get any stronger than that. But they are a great group of people. There's a lot of Capricorns. There's at least, to see, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that I know of. And it's funny that, there's so many of us, are drawn to the occult. Capricorns, it kind of happens. I'm not saying all Capricorns are that way, but like Colin, he's December 22nd. So he's literally right at the beginning of the Capricorn. I'm like, ooh, I'm so jealous. And who was it? There was someone else that was at the very end of January 19th. Who was that? Some, crap, I forget. Some like actor or actress probably that I like that I can't think of right off. But their birthday is January 19th. And I'm like, oh, wow. That is like, okay, Colin is literally at the beginning. This other person is at the end because it's December 22nd to January 19th, literally. And I'm like, wow, that's just funny. That's ironic. Peyton, I know, is a Virgo. She's September 9th. I'm January 9th. My daughter's January 11th. My dad, Jim, is January 12th. My friend Vicky is January 10th. And I also knew a Capricorn that was either January 7th, I think. And I will not name her because she was not a good friend. And I've had my share of them. It happens, people come and go when you're kids and you're young and innocent and you're just out to enjoy the day and enjoy the world. You don't judge. You're like besties with Jim Bob or, Bobby Sue or whatever. I was never the popular one in school. I was the quiet one in the corner that kept to myself. I would always sit in the very back of the class. And I didn't feel like I belonged there. The school system back in the 80s was shit, and I don't think it's much improved since. If I would have graduated, I would have been the class of 87 at East High School in Columbus, Ohio. And I 2 years before I graduated, I quit halfway through 10th grade like a big dummy head. And the next time when I think about it and remember to do it, I'm going to pop over to the EWU crew and I'm going to leave a comment and have them to go check out my my live streams here, because they are the ones that actually inspired me to live stream myself and figure out what I wanted to live stream. How did I want to be versatile? Did I want to have like specific things? Did I want to have universal things like magic, healing, the magical retreat, my views on religion, my connection with the earth. The earth evocation is part of a magical study that I am required to do every day for 30 days, for like a solid month. Literally do it every day. Well, I don't need to do the LBRP every day. I don't need to physically get up and do it. I automatically cast it in my head and it's done. So in my opinion, I do it every day. How would I phrase this? Planeswalker. I can go to different planes of existence, and let me tell you guys, I've got some trippy ass fucking stories. of experiences that I had on the Dream Astral plane, because that is where I rock. I mean, straight up. One of them, I remember one time, was very just blew my mind. It was what was that one called? It was I never named the dream, but I'm trying to think of what it was. A nightmare of sorts at first. But I was on a dark road in a dark country somewhere. There was these gigantic werewolves coming at me, ready to shred my ass. And I had this big leather-bound book that was about this wide, about this tall. It was very old. Don't ask me what language I was speaking. I do not know. But I held up my fingertips and literally destroyed these beasts with blue lightning shooting out of my fingers, okay? I woke up and went, holy shit, what was that? And can I do it again? How do I do that when I'm awake? If I can do it in the Dream Astral, how do I do it when I'm awake? Let's figure it out. I'm cracked without the drugs. Straight up, you'll have to excuse my lingo and my, I'll go from one type of voice to another. And British, of course, is one of my favorites, and Harry Potter inspired me to do that. And I actually worked a job one year, that was down the street from me. It's no longer there, sadly, but it was a costume job. It was a seasonal, so I could only do it in the month of October. Every day I went to work, I could dress in costume. Yay! I could speak, and I spoke in a British accent the entire time I was there, for my entire shift. And my boss, actually, we had a giggle one day about it. She's like, oh, bloody hell, you got me doing it. And I thought that was so funny. See, I can be totally convincing that I am from there. I can make my accent heavier. I can make it more light. I just sort of try the medium in between, when I'm of an elevated state of mind, and a magical is certainly, then I tend to actually sound exactly like Daniel Radcliffe. But I'm very shy about doing it because of the simple fact that it's so convincing. I don't want people to expect me to do it all the time. It would be a great party favor. Maybe it will be the very thing that will finally bring me and Daniel together so that I can meet him, because I am his biggest fan. And I'm sure there's 1,000,001 other people out there that feel the exact same way. I don't have to prove myself. I know what I know. I have experienced what I have experienced, and you tell me, you be the judge. Is it really him that I'm channeling? Or is it just my impersonation of him that is so convincing that in a room full of people with the lights out, when I would go into what I call Dan mode, I would start speaking like him. My voice would deepen. I would do, I started talking about things like, I don't think I was one of the first, but I was certainly the first that he channeled through. And this is one of the times that, yes, I believe it is possible that actually happened. Now, you may be thinking, okay, what are you playing at? I'm not playing at anything, guys. Okay, I can't explain it. If it's not him, which I have always doubted that it was. I'm not trying to be him. I'm not trying to pretend to be him. But all I can tell you is I am so convincing that I am him, that a room full of people with the lights out in the dark would swear that Daniel Radcliffe himself actually walked into the room. I'm not kidding. I have had, supposedly, Rupert build over me, Rupert Grint, before, when I was at a party one time and I was really high. So then, this was like years ago, and I won't name where. I was at a party, and I was smoking pot. I inhaled, fire me. But anyway, it's like, I was sitting in my altar one day, and, you may even hear my voice change, and it sometimes it changes without me even realizing it. And then sometimes you can tell that, okay, this is totally her. She just puts a British spin on it. I call it my Brit speak, and I love it. But Harry Potter is what inspired me. Actually, before Harry Potter, to be fair, it was actually Olivia Newton-John, because I don't know if she's English or if she actually is Australian, but she had a very heavy accent, and you could rarely hear it. But I loved her in Xanadu. I have it on DVD. I haven't watched it in an eon, in an on, as they say in Farscape. I like sci-fi. I like some anime. I love Marcon. I didn't work it this year, but I'm going to work it next year. So anyway, I'm sitting there at my altar one day, and a bunch of my friends were over, and we were partying. It was a nice summer day, and it was just everybody was chillaxing, hanging out at Janet's place because Janet's cool. Because I am. I really am. I was wearing a long purple dress with bell sleeves. It's called a Gothic gown, and it has black lace around it, around the very tips. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And it's medieval for certain. It's back there. You can tell it was back in that age. Excuse me. I looked down, and I heard my voice totally clearly change to that of a young male. And my first words were, "Bloody hell, she's got me in a dress." Everybody in the entire room cracked up laughing. They were rolling on the floor laughing their ass off, okay? And I earned it because according to them, now keep in mind, we were all stoned out of our damn minds when this happened, okay? They said, "Janet, you're not going to believe this, but Rupert Grint actually built over you." I was like, "No, he didn't. You're fucking with me because we're high, right? Right?" And they're like, "No, Janet, seriously, it really was him." And I'm like, no, I don't believe you. You're lying. You're just messing with me. They're like, "No, Janet, it really was him." And they were adamant about it. They were like, it was totally him. But my first thought was, oh my God, panic and outright terror, because my first thought was, oh my God, did something happen to Rupert? I thought you could only channel dead people. That was my very thought. I'm not kidding. And everybody laughed at that too. And I'm like, go ahead and laugh. But this is okay. How does this work again? It totally blew my mind. If I start speaking in an English accent, Brit speak, and I'm in a store, I've done this countless times. People will literally, it's happened, folks. This is the stuff I need to get on YouTube and live stream, because that's the only way people are going to believe me. But I would be like over there with a friend, or me and Chris would be shopping one day, and I would just suddenly Brit speak. Strangers, complete strangers, walk up to me, and they say, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, "Pontiac, Michigan?" And they're like, "No, seriously, where are you from?" Because the accent is so heavy. Their first thought is London, England, that I'm British, that I'm English, that I'm from England. One of these guys came up one time. It was a dad. He was there. I don't know if he was there shopping with his daughter. I can't remember, but he was a sweet guy, and he was like, "Can I ask you something?" I said, "Sure." And I thought maybe he was looking for something, a gift or something. "Could you tell me where this is?" "No." He's like, "Where are you from?" And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, is the accent right? And I was like, "Pontiac, Michigan. I've never been to London, England. I blame Harry Potter because they're the ones that helped me." I mean, I so fell in love with it. Harry Potter is basically my life, but for real. Okay, now, yeah, of course, I can't say that there's a hippogriff out there. I can't say Bowtruckles are real, or any of the other fantastical beasts that they've had in the Harry Potter series. I would love to have a hippogriff named Buckbeak. Are you kidding me? Of course I would. However, I have a griffin that I don't know if, let me ask them first. Guys, is it okay if I give your names, or will that mess anything up? Do I have your permission, or is it maybe not a good idea? Okay, before I go on, let me say this. Yeah, sometimes I'll drop the accent, other times I'll just fall back into it, and I don't even realize I'm doing it. It just happens. See what I mean? But, okay, so for a long time, I had this major, major crush on Rupert Grint. The ginger hair and the blue eyes, it just went, BAM! Hello! And I fell for the kid, okay? But I have always, and always will be, old enough to be their bloody mothers. I don't want to be their mothers. I'm sure the moms are great, and they are very lucky to have been raised by them. But apparently Rupert Grint did something, I don't know how far back or how recent, but Hollywood will never sign him again. And I'm thinking, oh no, what's going on? This is my cat Kalika, guys. Forgive her tail in our face, but she means no harm. So anyway, so for a while there, I had a major crush on Rupert. I was about ready to have myself committed. I'm not kidding, because I'm like, these feelings are not normal. They're not okay. This is a kid. He's in his teens. He's, I mean, I believe when Daniel started out, he was in the neighborhood of between 10 and 12 or something the first time he played Harry Potter. I don't know. But I will tell you this. For the longest time, I had a major crush on Rupert. I literally had a shrine to the boy in my backyard. I was living at my mother's at the time. It was the middle of summer. It was the summer solstice. It was June 21st, 2005. I remember it very clearly. Zatani, is it okay? Okay, Zatani is my griffin. And they're saying, for now, let's do a test run here. Let's only speak of one of us and talk about what we are. And don't ask me to prove it, because I'm not suddenly going to show the camera around the room and there's a griffin standing in my front room, okay? Even though there is, but they are not of the same substance as this plane. They are ethereal. It is a very real substance. It is a very real energy. They are ghost-like. They are specters. They are in another realm. If I ever manage to find my way to that realm, magically sometime or through the dream astral plane, then I will definitely do it, and I will have bells on and let everyone know I'm there. So Rupert channeled through me first, and then the summer of June 21st, it turned out to be Daniel, or so I've been told. You can understand and see how this could very easily be taken by a lot of people. First thought might go to, oh, you're just trying to make a name for yourself. You're just trying to get some special donations or attention. Prove it. If you're Daniel Radcliffe, prove it. What do you want me to do? Tell you my penis size? Because I don't have one. I'm a woman, so sorry, I can't help you there. Yeah, that's my sick, twisted humor. So anyway, I was sitting in my backyard, sitting in my Rupert shrine. And Jim Morrison appeared to me. And when I say Jim Morrison, yes, I very much mean the very one that was in the doors. Don't you bite me, I'll smack you. Don't bite me. Sometimes she bites. Don't you do it, Kalika. It's like an affectionate thing. Don't you bite, Mommy. You be nice. She's sort of in a lovey mood. She's getting the hornies, and that's what I call it, because when they both go into heat, they both go into heat at the same time a lot of times. They're both girls. They're both female. We've been meaning to get them fixed, but fate is like a cruel mother, and we have tried a couple places. One of the cheapest places we've found that we could get both of them done for $120. We can't seem to get on the telephone. So we can't get them fixed if they're not going to pick up the damn phone and answer. And our friends guided us to these people so that we could save the money and get them fixed. Because supposedly one of the things it does is it prolongs their lives. I didn't know that. I certainly would love to have more years with my cats, even if they did get a little weighty and a little chubby and chunky like me, their human mother. But I'm a cat too. See, I am like, I can't explain. I don't know what I am. I can try to explain it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to understand it. Now see, this is what my husband is always talking about. She never shuts up. So, you don't like it? Turn it off. You don't have to watch it all the way through. But subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell icon. All my peeps out there, I got your back. I signed up for your channels. You can at least do the same for me. I could use the support, guys. I could use the donations. Let's help each other, And when I get my money, the end of May, if I can finally get an answer from Paranormal Files and get access to the website so I can buy their merch, then that will be me donating to the show. Because I really do like the merch. They really are flame designs, like Dylan says, Colin, thinking I'm a grandson. But, so I'm in my backyard, and Jim Morrison pays me a visit, and I'm like, okay, why? I'm curious. For the longest time, I was scared of Jim Morrison, and I'm not anymore. I am what is called a spirit keeper. Jim Morrison's spirit came to me and decided to house his essence into a very living, very real crystal called, I believe it's an iolite. So he is using the crystal as a vessel, just like some spirits have been known to possess animals, dolls, inanimate objects, stuffed animals. I know I already said that. Objects from an estate, haunted furniture, clothing, pictures, a house and its particular location. I have always felt most natural speaking with a British accent because I have had countless dreams about going home to London. And I did not grow up British. I was not born from British father or mother. So where did the British come from? Well, according to, once again, the genealogy study that my Aunt Cinda did years ago, I'm related to a lot of people, some of which are actually celebrities. But if one of them actually is royalty, how do you approach that exactly? Because if they're royalty, you can't just look them up in the phone book. Not usually. The next time you guys see me on here, I'm probably going to be bright red everywhere, and now I'm going to have even more of a mix of colors in my hair, but this is just me. I have decided reds, blues, and purples are my thing. I've got a neon pink wig that sometimes I might wear on here, and you'll see my hair most likely hanging down underneath it. Because it's still, it's called what do they call it? Ombre, when it's two or more colors, and mine are multiple. I mean, I've got blues, purples, various shades of blues and purples, and I've also got my luscious raspberries, and but doing it myself, I always end up dyeing my skin everywhere, dyeing my clothes. I have to sacrifice a towel usually to put the hair dye on because I don't want to get it all over my clothes, and then for the next several weeks or whatever, a lot of the dye comes right out. I don't use the bleach in my hair. I did that once. And yeah, it turned my hair white. And yeah, it gave me those very bright, bold, vivid colors that go, hello. I am a rainbow romantic goth, guys. Okay? This is the rainbow goth of me. I'm wearing my witchy stuff. Not all of it, by no means, because, oh my gosh, I don't even want to think about how heavy that would make me. I'm already over 200 pounds, and I'm disgusted with myself. But I am utilizing my membership at the Y, and I'm, trying to develop some type of consistency of going a couple times a week at least. Not necessarily every day. There's going to be times when I just go up to hit the pool and the hot tub. But I've got to start wearing my hair up and maybe even braiding it or something and pinning it to the top of my head and try to avoid the chlorine in the hot tub and the pool, because then that's like a double serious dose of it. And yeah, it will lighten a lot of the colors, but it stains my sterling silver and makes it look like shit. That I don't like. So anyway, I'm sitting there in my backyard, and I had my shrine set up to Rupert, and Jimmy and I got engaged in a conversation, and the first question I asked him was, why are you here? I'm afraid of you. And I don't know how not to be. So he very patiently crosses his arms and stands outside my circle and goes, that's why I'm here, Janet, because I don't want you to be afraid of me anymore. I'm a spirit. What harm am I possibly going to do to you? Spirits cannot harm you unless you believe they can, and unless you let them. If you open yourself wide to and let them channel and say, come on, do whatever you want to me, they'll do it. I don't do that, okay? So he very patiently, he was standing there barefoot with his leather pants and his signature belt and the necklace he always wore that is in a picture that I have of him. It's a big-ass portrait. I mean, this thing would literally take up an entire wall, and this thing was $30, and an ex-boyfriend got it for me years ago. But he rode home on our bikes with this thing, and I don't know how he did it. He balanced it on his leg, and I was scared to death the whole way there that he was going to drop it and break it. But he didn't. That guy didn't work out. He was ED. I called him Mr. ED. Erectile dysfunction. And yes, I'm intentionally being a bitch because he was a bastard. I took a chance on him, and he was one of those that it blew up in my face. And I actually let him move in with me when I was living with my mother, which was the worst possible time and place to do such a thing, because that's when everything went to hell. That's when everything went wrong. And me and my mom were fighting. And I actually heard myself for the first time calling my mom a bitch and telling her that she was being a bitch, because in my opinion, at that time she was. I love my mother. I don't cut her down. I don't demean her. I simply state fact. It has not been easy by no means to be raised by a Leo and be a Capricorn. Because she could eat me, because I could see her eating a goat or eating a freaking fish, you know, because she's a big cat. They eat both. Hello. I mean, I don't know if lions eat goat, but hey, if that's all you got and you're hungry, let's do it, right? So yes, I do ramble sometimes. And then I am learning to notice when I'm doing it, be conscious of when I'm doing it so that I can stop it and slow it down a little bit. I can't think of anything in particular that I wanted or needed to read. And I've been on here like 2 hours and 30 minutes and some odd seconds. So that's pretty good. I mean, this has probably been one of the longest ones that I've done so far. But I guess I'm going to go ahead and sign off, because I don't want to just sit here like, oh, gee, what do I talk about now? Because I do have some stuff I need to check into. Some stuff that I think I meant to check on Amazon and forgot. I want to go through my wish list, because I've got a crap ton of them. And I want to find, look for items that are saying, okay, this is no longer available. We don't know when or if we're ever going to get this item back. And then just clear those out so that I can fill them with new stuff, and try to minimize them down so that I can pick one and start buying a couple of items from that one each month until that one's completely done, and then move on to the next. But spending very minimal, spending as little as possible. My cat's laying in my lap. She my lap, kitty. And it's only after 4. It's a little after 4. So, Iwu Crew, I will try to buy some merch from you soon. It'll probably be looking like, from what I saw there, it's looking like, hopefully I'll find at least a t-shirt. I would love the satin looking jacket or whatever it was that, I don't know if it was a kid size or not, but if you have those in 1X, I definitely want one of them. I've always wanted my own Pink Ladies jacket, or basically my own version of it. Like, instead of it saying Pink Ladies, I would put Blue Phoenix on it, because that is a signature title that I go by. What do I mean by Blue Phoenix? Because phoenixes are red and yellow, and they're birds of fire and that whole thing. Well, I am very heavily emotionally based, and I have a very fiery temperament, but I also have a fiery passion about me. I have no problem wearing bright colors. I know bright colors make you look heavier, but I really don't care. I'm not trying to pretend that there's a Barbie doll figure version of me sitting here right now, because that simply isn't true. But on the good side, I am working on it. And I do have a friend that is doing it with me, and we are trying to be a team and do it together and keep each other motivated and start going consistently a couple times a week. Because if I have 2 days of study time, I should have at least 2 days of working out, and then maybe a couple of days to just sit and chillax and do whatever. So I guess I'm going to probably be wrapping it up here and sign off for now. Because Ash, I don't know yet how to pause this. Like, I don't know if I try to pause it, I don't think it would allow me to do it. I don't think there's a feature on here anywhere. Send feedback, I'm not sure. I have never tried that. So anyway, peace out. Don't be hating. Perfect love, perfect trust. This is your modern day Janelle, Janice Joplin, Star Child. I have Orion's belt on my arm, which you guys would probably never be able to see, because let's face it, my camera's not that great probably. But hey, it does the job. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. I tried to put a little bit of magic in here. I tried to do a little bit of background discussion to help people get to know me a little bit better. But you do have to really think about, what do you want to share? Because if it's somebody that isn't necessarily a friend, but is like someone that a friend of yours knows, and they sign up for your channel, those are the ones you got to be careful, because until you know the person, until you can get confirmation from your friend, yeah, they're good, they're cool, they're not going to do any harm. Don't take chances. Don't be afraid to be cautious. I'd rather be cautious and wrong than cautious and right. Being right isn't always good. It isn't always fun. And I don't know how long it's going to take me before I can actually do paranormal investigations. I still have to get on Ravenwood's site and see, what the availability is going to be at the end of May, and through their calendar try to figure out about when I should get my check so I know when to book the room. That video footage is coming. I will take my laptop for that. My Aunt Cinda, as a matter of fact, just did a message over here on Facebook. Something about, this is a cool one that was sent to me, so I don't know what that's all about. I'll check it later. But I still need to, at some point, pick one of these videos, one of these live streams, and play around with it and practice some editing. Because I asked my husband if he could please help me figure out how to do the editing. Is it something easy that you can teach? Is it something hard? I know my friend Jay's been trying to polo me, and probably has several times already, because it's a private discussion that, I don't want someone else hearing, because it's no one's business but me and his. And it's part of communication, though. You got to have communication. When things are happening that you don't like, you got to be not afraid to say something, but don't say it in such a way that you're being a jerk about it, Blessed be, love and blessings to all, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.